And I have my fireworks here I plan to set off over the weekend, and I'm going to use some of those tips you just heard to stay safe myself. It's this stuff right here everyone's waiting on to dry up so they can get into the festival. But if more rain comes, that's just not going to happen. The sheriff says they were called to this house around 2 a.m. They say Alan Freeman was able to call a family member. I sat down with litigation counsel at Liberty Counsel today, and they had a very different opinion. I'll share that reaction with you tonight on ABC 13 News at 6.
Joins us now, and it turns out the baby in that photo is a grown woman now.
That's right, Noreen. It's really unbelievable. Pam Self-Hudson says she was scrolling through our website and stopped when she saw the picture. She says she thought, that really looks like my dad. Millions of cars expected to be recalled due to faulty airbags. We went to a local car dealership to see what you should do next. And Danner, I can tell you I've been to many press conferences, and normally with mass crews like this one, everyone's chomping at the bit trying to get to the front, get the best spot, get the best angle. But today, the crowd stood back with their tripods still folded and waited until WDBJ7's crew arrived. And when they did, we all stood back and asked them to pick their spot first. Third-year student Kat Humphrey says she was at the same apartment party as Hannah Graham the night she disappeared. Although she didn't talk to Hannah, she says she did notice her when she walked into the room due to her height and sequined top. According to this criminal incident log filed by the Liberty University Police, another student filed a report that she had been raped. Now, instead of leaving the library with just one book, you can now leave with 10 automatically loaded on this Kindle. This home outside of Charlottesville is vacant, and as you can see behind me, this 2-acre lot is heavily wooded. And I'm told 55 professionals were out combing the 8-mile radius. For most cars like this Mazda, when the car is off, the horn still works. But that's not the case for Volkswagen drivers, and that could cause some problems. ABC 13 Chief Meteorologist George Flickinger had just pulled up to the gas pump and was about to get out of his car when he saw another car backing up right at him.
As it kept getting closer, it kept coming and coming, so I thought, oh, let him know. Honk the horn. It doesn't work when your car's turned off.
Now his car is dented.
It was really disappointing that my horn didn't work because this could have been completely avoided.
He called Volkswagen to see if it was a problem with just his car. They told him they're made that way. If the key's not turned to on in the ignition, you can't honk your horn.
I was really surprised to hear that because everybody assumes that their horn works all the time.
Vincent Mays says he owns 2 Volkswagens. One is his, the other his 17-year-old daughter's. Can you turn your car off? I'll try to blow the horn.
Did not know that.
Mays says he plans to tell his daughter and make others aware as well. Alex Ramos wasn't aware either. Honk your horn.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
What do you think about that?
I'd rather it work.
I reached out to the corporate office at Volkswagen today. They replied saying Volkswagen considers the safety and satisfaction of customers their top priority and complies with all federal motor vehicle safety standards. Live in Lynchburg, Katie Brooke, ABC 13 News.
One man got a Father's Day card in the mail 26 years. Yes, 26 years after it was postmarked. Katie Brooke has this incredible story tonight. Katie?
Well, Danner, the story really brought tears to my eyes. Mr. Schrock's son actually passed away in 1995. He says getting a card from him after all this time is a miracle.
Somebody picked up the ball and carried it.
87-year-old Dwayne Schrock says it's unbelievable.
And after all these years, they must still have forwarded it.
This card has been returned to sender, forwarded, and juggled for almost 30 years. Schrock has moved around the country several times, and the card just couldn't catch up with him.
I still kind of tear up when I think about it. Yeah. To get it just a few days after Father's Day, and mailed in 1989 to Father's Day.
Schrock says his son passed away in 1995. He was only 45 years old and died of AIDS.
My wife and my son.
Schrock says he didn't agree with his son's homosexual lifestyle, and the relationship was at times tumultuous.
And that's why I asked him if he made peace with God, because I want to see him in heaven.
So to get this, 26 years later?
Dear Dad, we haven't been in touch for quite a while. I'm doing fine and I'm very happy in Richmond. I'd like to hear from you. Have a happy Father's Day. Love, Dwayne.
He says it's like a sign from heaven that his son is doing just fine.
It was sure welcome and restored faith in the mail service.
Mr. Schrock says he wants to thank all of the mail workers. He says he really feels they bent over backwards for close to 30 years to get him that letter, Dana.
Just when he said, I wanted to make sure that you're right with God, and then to get that almost as a sign, if you believe it or not, but pretty amazing story.
Really neat.
Thanks, Katie.
These women staying in Miriam's house have taken pictures to share what life is like through their eyes, and it's really inspiring. The council will frame the photos and put them on display at the Riverviews Art Space. They'll also sell them to raise money for the hundreds of homeless right here in our community.
Walking back from Daily Bread and decided to snap a picture.
The perspective and stories behind each picture is mesmerizing.
One woman said that she took a picture of looking from outside into a restaurant, into a really nice restaurant that she knew that she probably could never afford.
The James River Council for the Arts and Humanities approached Miriam's house after seeing an exhibit in Paris where they gave homeless individuals cameras and asked them to document the world from their perspective. Miriam's house passed out 12 cameras to women who live there.
They really wanted to bring that to Lynchburg and to provide a way for Lynchburg to recognize that there are homeless individuals in our community.
Some photos have been very profound statements.
Amber Morris got one of those cameras. She says she moved into Miriam's house after some mishaps in her life.
They help you as far as resources, getting everything together, making sure that you have everything that you need to get to that next level.
She says she wants to share her perspective because not everyone knows what the homeless go through each day. Like this photo, all the things she carries with her, walking to job interviews or just the store. And this one.
The little things like this that you can stop and enjoy is not just about, saying, okay, well, I've got to go do this for a job interview, I've got to look for housing. It's taking the opportunity to stop and say, hey, this is what we can stop and enjoy throughout life.
Miriam's house stays full all year round. They have 2 housing programs, one on site with 15 units, and then community-based programs that help homeless women and their families find and afford housing of their own. All proceeds from the art exhibit starting the first Friday of October will go straight to Miriam's house.